Miss Davis, good morning.
Wait! Um, how are you?
Fine. Should I not be? Well, no, you're entitled to feel exactly how you feel.
Speaking of feelings, how do you feel about our new bulletin board?
How do I feel about it? I feel like it's fine.
Fine.
I mean, it's not up to my standard, but it's fine.
Oh, is that right? Well, then how would you have done it?
The blue is a little dark. It's hard to read without my glasses on.
Oh, well, that's actually constructive. Thank you.
Sure. Am I free to leave now? You are, yes.
But, do you, notice any weird smells in here?
I'm not the person to ask. I have anosmia.
You have what?
Anosmia. I don't have my full sense of smell. Head injury when I was very little.
Oh, wow. Sorry to hear that.
No biggie. Anything else you'd like my opinion on before I head out?
That should do it.
Oh, let Natalie know her father will be picking her up today at dismissal. Will do.
Well, it's not her.
Let's just let it go. You know, probably a parent having a bad day or a kid playing a prank on us. Let's just let it go. Can we let it go?
Fine, sure, yeah. Who cares?
Yeah, who cares?
I am gonna go change that bulletin board, though. She's right. For once.
Ladies, how's it going in here? Fine. Good.
Why are you down here?
Oh, you know, just doing my rounds.
Doing your rounds? Since when?
I still have rounds to do as an assistant principal, okay?
Right. Okay, sure, corn turd.
Hey, that's disrespectful.
It's November, and this is the first round I've seen you do.
Well, things have been busy.
Okay, so listen, we've got a lot of stuff to get done before the kids get here. You made your quarterly round, now scram!
You know, the way you two talk to me is absolutely unbelievable.
You know what else is unbelievable? You hiring a mental patient that tried to deprive me of life!
I said I was sorry.
Well, I don't forgive you.
Allie, why are you really down here? It's Miss Cornfoot, if you don't mind.
Miss Corn Turd, why are you really down here?
Well, if you really must know, there have been some complaints made about the both of you, and I wanted to come down here and have a look-see myself.
Complaints? About what?
That's for me to know right now. Well, how are we supposed to fix it if we don't know what we're doing wrong?
Exactly! Also, who's complaining?
That's on a need-to-know basis as well. Just make sure you two are performing up to snuff and you shouldn't have anything to worry about.
You tell us right this instant, mister!
Tell us what's being said about us. It's not that hard. I've received a couple of complaints. Okay, one saying your bulletin board is in Comic Sans and it's giving unprofessional. And the second is that it smells like body odor and sadness in here. Okay. Who's saying these things? That I cannot tell you.
Listen here!
I can't tell you because I don't know, okay? They're being dropped on my desk anonymously. First graders were making what they proudly called mud pies at the back of the playground where it meets one of the farmers' fields. I taught in Alabama. They had a full operation going. Mixing area, decoration station, even someone pretending to take orders. I'll admit, I was impressed. Then I got close enough to smell it. It was earthy. Not the pleasant kind. More like the kind that tells you to stop breathing through your nose. Turns out my young bakers were using horse dung as their main ingredient. One kid looked at me with a big grin and said, "It's natural, so it's good for you." I have never yelled, "Put that down," so fast in my life. Nobody tasted anything, thank God, but I will never hear the words mud pie again without flinching. You gotta love the fearlessness of a child, really, truly. A group of pre-K kids were suspiciously gathered around the fence one day. That is never a good sign. They were playing with a detached squirrel's tail. Here's another short one. I had a kid get his earlobe stuck in the chain of the swing set. Ow. I taught K-5 for several years. Almost every year during the first week of school, if a boy had to go to the bathroom, they would just drop their pants and go. Here's another one, same vein. Had a kid in the K-3 class drop his pants and poop on the top of the slide. The playground, honestly, is just one giant litter box. We had two boys, one in fourth and one in fifth, running around playing tag. The fifth grader collided with the fourth grader and his tooth broke and got stuck in the kid's head. The fourth grader ended up with staples in his head, and the fifth grader had to have extensive dental surgery. Now that is a classroom horror story. Oh my gosh. I was on recess duty and had a student come running up to me saying some kids were stuck on the light pole. I went over and they were all leaning on the pole with their tongues stuck. 5 first-grade girls who were told by another student that if they put their tongue to the light post, it was winter, it would get stuck. She later said she saw it on A Christmas Story. The student dared the 5 students to try it. They did, but then couldn't get their tongues unstuck. I had to call the nurse and principal. They all had bleeding tongues and had to see their pediatricians. The student that told them to try it said, oh well, they didn't have to do it. Had a baby bunny come through the fence. I tried to get it out because 1 baby bunny versus 15 4-year-olds was bad odds for the bunny. As soon as it left, a hawk came down and snatched it up. The kids watched in horror as the hawk sat on a nearby tree limb eating said bunny. Day ruiner. Day ruiner. Last day of school, we had the building to ourselves, so we spent most of the day outside on the playground. We were all sitting there talking, and the kids were playing and having a great time and enjoying the weather. We all noticed something out of the corner of our eye and see one of our students running across the playground with no clothes on. We're all chasing him and trying not to laugh, but we were all practically falling down. We were laughing so hard. The student was too. Let's just say I was so glad there were no other students in the building besides us. So many questions about that one. A little girl pooped outside and I had to pick it up like she was a dog. Last one. This one takes the cake. One morning, another teacher and I took a small group of students out for recess. We saw branches stabbed into the ground in the shape of a big circle in the field connected to our playground. The kids were talking about it and kept coming up to us asking what it was and why it was there. We were just as clueless as they were, until one of the girls came up and said, I know what it is. I helped make it last night. Say what? Apparently, she and her older sister and her mom are witches. They formed the circle to do some sort of witchcraft ceremony because her older sister was old enough to start casting her own spells. Why did they do this in the field at our school, you ask? Well, the playground is open after hours for local kids to play on, and the trailer park they live in next door to the school didn't have enough room for them to make their magic circle. Thank you so much to everyone that submitted recess stories for this week's Classroom Horror Stories episode. Yes, these are all true, if you can believe it. I can't sometimes, but they are. We'll see you next week. Kids alerted me to poop under the playground equipment. I walked over and sure enough, a full pile of human poop. It happened again a few weeks later. We never were able to determine who did it. I always called it the mystery poop, and we needed to find out who the mystery pooper was. Of course, the kids thought that it was funny. At the end of the school year, a little boy from my class came up to me and whispered, Miss Jenny, I am the mystery pooper. Well, at least he owned up to it. My story involves a Miss Smith mother who didn't want her 5-year-old daughter to play at recess because she was a model and couldn't fall down as it might result in bruises. Same mother told the principal that she was going to sue all the teachers because her daughter told her mom that we had tossed her over the 8-foot-high fence surrounding the playground into the lake behind the school. None of the teachers were over 5'4". The child always went home in the same clothing and shoes, so nothing was ever wet. But according to the mother, her child doesn't lie. Thankfully, because it was a private school, the principal suggested Miss Smith find another school. Love that. That's a happy ending. One of my little boys had to use the bathroom and didn't want to stop playing, so instead of asking to go inside to use the bathroom, he found a big rock in the corner of the playground and did his business. When he asked why he did that, he said, I do it all the time in my backyard at home. He then proceeded to tell me, you always tell us school is our second home, so I did like I would at home. Parents, potty train your kids, okay?
So you have no idea who's complaining about us?
I have no idea. Your guess is as good as mine.
Oh, I've got a couple guesses.
Now hold on. I didn't want to tell you because I didn't want you going around accusing everybody and their mother. Let's just keep this under wraps for now and see if anything else pops up. Do not, and I mean do not, approach any parent about this until we have more information. Do you understand?
We hear you. Now beat it, corn turd!
I should write you up for that.
Do it then. Who in the H.E. Double Washington Monuments is complaining about us behind our backs?
Oh, I'll tell you who. I've got 2 guesses, actually. I mean, Miss Smith is at the top of my list, for sure. And then, do you think Natalie's mom could be doing it? You know, she's not exactly our #1 fan.
Yeah, but Susie's mom could run us over with a monster truck and not even bat an eye.
Sure, but I still think it could be a toss-up between the two. Have a great day, sweetie. Morning. What's crawled up your cracks today and made a nest in your butt hair?
Oh, you tell us.
Excuse me? Reel it in. We have to approach this carefully.
Fine. Miss Smith, do you think our classroom has a distinct smell?
Stop. Yeah, it smells like Cheerios and Play-Doh in here. Or urine and Play-Doh, same thing.
Huh. And what do you think about our bulletin board over there?
Why would I give a about your bulletin board?
Just answer the question.
It surprisingly doesn't look bad.
Well, what?
I said it doesn't look bad. Go home and write it in your diary. I don't think that lady would do anything anonymously.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. But then who the heck's doing it?
Have a great day, sweetie. In my son's elementary school last year in 3rd grade, a group of students at recess got some sticks and formed a pentagram and started making a circle to summon a demon. Teachers caught them and parents were called. Maybe a priest too. Call a priest while you're at it. I was in grade 1 and had a friend on either side of me holding my hands and pulling me while I slid along the ice on the playground. I slipped and took out one of my friends and she fell on top of me. I went back to class with a sore arm. Pretty sure I spent the whole day at school, and it could have been days later when I was taken to the hospital to find out my arm was broken. This would have been 1972. Yeah, that's terrible. That actually reminds me of my own story. So back in 3rd grade, I was out on the playground playing at recess, as one does, and I was playing soccer. And I was in the goal, and my friend kicked the ball, and I put my hand up to block it, and it broke my left arm. But at the time, I went to the nurse and she told me it was fine, didn't look swollen, which it doesn't have to look swollen to be broken. Fun fact. And she sent me back to class for the whole rest of the day. This nurse didn't know that I had also broken my arms 4 times before that. And so I was really prone to doing that. And so she sent me back to class. I went home. My mom turned into Miss Smith and was pissed. She gave the nurse an earful. Of course, I was at school with a broken arm all day. And 2 days later, I was out at recess again, and I was playing kickball this time. And the ball was kicked at me. I was the pitcher, and I threw the ball, and the ball was kicked right at me. Instead of deflecting it with my hard cast, I put my other hand up, and I broke this arm 2 days later. I couldn't do anything. Couldn't write, couldn't wipe myself in the bathroom, TMI. But yeah, it was a tough few weeks. Back to it. Kindergarten students would tell us that one boy was peeing at the fence every day at recess. When the teacher asked him, he said, "No, I'm not peeing." For a week, these kids would come and tell us that the boy was peeing. Finally, we followed the boy and come to find out he was pooping at the fence. Pooping. When questioned, he said, "You asked if I was peeing." Mom said the boy would not poop in the toilet, so she just let him poop outdoors at home.